Hi there, it's me again, Fabi from Fabi English. All right, cool, yeah, so hello again. This is our third live this week, okay? And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Fabi from Fabi English, okay? And I'm an English teacher. I've been teaching English for about 15 years now. It's a long time. I've taught all levels of English, but my specialty is actually Ielts, okay? And I've taught English here in Brisbane, different schools, and also at the University of Queensland here in Brisbane, Australia. I'm originally from Brazil, but I'm based in Brisbane, okay? And here at Fabi English, I help you with your English and also to achieve your score on the IELTS exam, okay? And the reason I focus on the English also is because I don't think you can achieve the score you need on the IELTS exam if you don't improve your English, okay? So everyone who studies with me, they do both, all right? So we do English and we also do IELTS together. Okay, cool. So if you have any questions, feel free to pop them in the comments and I'll get to them at the end. All right, cool. So let's get started, okay? So if you are on my email list, you know that this week we're talking about New Year's resolutions and the IELTS exam in your English, of course, okay? Like I said before, if you saw the first live, I did have at the end of last year some people contact me telling me that in January they wanted to start studying for the IELTS because they were going to do the test in July. And others who said, oh, my English is so bad, I need to improve my English. I'll be in touch with you in January. And then next thing, yeah, they didn't get in touch. Okay, so yeah, so I do think that IELTS and studying English in general was a New Year's resolution to a lot of people, and I bet that some of these people, they kind of lost that, okay? So I'm here to help you bring that up again, all right? So on Monday, we talked a little bit about New Year's resolutions and English for the IELTS in itself. Yesterday, I told you some of the things that you have to think about. All right, and today I'm going to give you some tips on things that you can do, okay? So to keep up the practice, okay? So you keep studying, okay? Because I bet that some people in the beginning of the year, I think it was Monday, the first Monday of the year was of the 4th of January. And I do think that a lot of people, they probably studied English for an hour and the next day was 20 minutes, the next day they didn't, and the next day they forgot. And then they tried to catch up on the weekend and they couldn't, okay? So today I'm gonna tell you a few things that you can think about and you can do, okay, to help you improve that. All right, so let's get started, okay? Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen the lives, okay, from Monday, from yesterday, the one from yesterday will be available on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram later today. Okay, but you can catch up. All right. And tomorrow is the big day. Okay, so if you want a full lesson concerning this topic, you can go ahead and hop on the link in the bio. And if you go to Facebook, Fabi English on Facebook, you can go ahead and also have a look at the events and you can get the link there, okay? Because tomorrow will be the free, it's free. I keep forgetting to say it's free, and someone asked me yesterday. I'm like, of course it's free. All right, so yeah. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Brisbane time, there will be a Zoom virtual class, okay? In which I will tell you lots of things you can do to keep practicing your English every day, okay? Especially for your IELTS objectives, okay, and how you can keep this New Year's resolution if studying English and improving your English was your New Year's resolution. All right, cool. So some of the things I'd like to talk about, okay? So I think that from my experience, what really helps students and people who are wanting to improve their English is creating habits, okay? So that's why most challenges and things that people do, they are 21 days, because they say that in 21 days you can actually create a new habit. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a few things that you can try to do, and maybe you can spend those 21 days doing it. Okay, and hopefully you will improve. Okay, cool. So yeah, so one of the things that I mentioned yesterday was actually that if you're having problems getting the habit going, one thing you can do, you can attach the practice of English or your IELTS practice to a habit that you already have. Okay, so my example was talking about like for breakfast, you know, what do you do while you're having breakfast? Well, if you have breakfast every day, maybe you can add something to your habit. Okay, something you do in the morning, afternoon, or evening before going to bed. Maybe you can add some English or some IELTS to that. Okay, but I'll tell you some of the things you can do too. All right, and again, one thing that I think that people forget is that when it comes to English, you have 4 skills. So you have listening, writing, speaking, and reading. Okay, and what I feel is that people sometimes they say, I need to improve my speaking, I need to improve my writing. When in the end of the day, you could be combining different skills. Okay, so let's say you tell me I need to improve my writing. Okay, and then you say, but I have to write, what am I going to do? So maybe you can combine reading and writing, and then you're actually practicing 2 things. So like I said before, so let's use the example of breakfast, let's say. Okay, so yeah, so during breakfast you usually watch the news, you see TikTok. Yeah, lots of people are addicted to TikTok. Maybe you can just get away from that a little bit and you can watch something in English. Okay, and then you can write about it. Okay, so again, just because you're not gonna give it to someone, it doesn't mean that you don't have to do it. Just the practice of writing totally helps. All right, so maybe combining things, or you can read the news and then you can tell someone about it. So then we'll be practicing your reading and your speaking skills too. Okay, and if you think about it, if you keep doing this, I believe that things will be very, very natural for you. And when you have to do the IELTS exam, especially when it comes to writing and speaking, okay, it's not that you get points because you're natural, but because you sound natural, but your writing, your speaking will flow better if you are more natural. And I think you achieve that when you have the habit, which is exactly what we're talking about today. Okay, so one of the things you can do is combine all of these skills. Okay, and then you're not doing just one thing. Okay, so I do believe that focusing on one skill is not a good idea. The best thing is to combine things. You watch something and you tell someone, which then you'll be practicing your listening. All right, so these are the things you can do. Okay, cool. Another thing you can do, which I think is my favorite, okay, is to change things up. Okay, so I do have a lot of students that say that they do the same thing every day, which is good. There's nothing wrong with it, but maybe changing it a little bit will make it even more interesting for you. Okay, so yeah, so like I said before, you watch something every day. Maybe you could read something instead, or maybe you can send a message to a friend who speaks English. Okay, or if you don't have that much time, when we think about the IELTS exam, when you don't have that much time, you can actually work on strategies. So learn more about strategies or take time to revise things. Okay, oh my god, I've given you so many things that you can do already. So yeah, so I think that what makes it interesting and helps you keep going in your habit is also to change things and do different things every day. All right, cool. And then another thing that you can do, oh yeah, I have notes here. A little bit is better than nothing. Okay, so yeah, so even if you have 5 minutes, okay, just maybe 5 minutes doing something will help you. Okay, so if you do 5 minutes every day, it adds up to 25 minutes. So it's like half an hour a week. Okay, and you will see that when you try to do a little bit, if you're really into it, you actually extend it. okay? And then you do even more, okay? You do even more. Hi, Paula. Hi. There's some people there, okay? And guys, if you have any questions, okay, just feel free to type the questions and then I will get to them at the end. All right, cool. Okie dokie. So yeah, so as I was saying, yeah, so just do something, anything, okay? So yeah, so just do something, okay? Because it totally helps, okay? Just do a little bit every day. Hi. All right, cool. And then, yeah, another thing is a lot of people, they say that they do a lot of things in English, but they don't think that their English is improving, okay? So what I tell people is that maybe they can do it consciously. So if you're watching episodes, like you're watching Netflix and you're watching it in English, but I don't feel my English is improving. So maybe when you're watching something, just think about that, the fact that you're not just watching it, you are also paying attention to things, okay? So you can practice your English too. Okay, so that sounds a bit nerdy, okay? But maybe if you really want to improve, maybe you can have like a notebook next to you when you're watching TV, and then you see a new word and you take some notes, okay? So yeah, so, and again, when you're reading something, so because there's a difference when we are doing something to get information and then we're doing something to actually learn English, right? But you can combine both actually. So if you're reading something you're interested in and then you see a word you don't know, you should skip that word and keep reading just because you want to understand what it is, right? But then you can actually go back once you finish reading and you understood, just go back to it, you know, and then go and take some notes and get some new words. So that's something else you can do too. Okay. And then that's, I think what I'm going to say now is the hardest thing, which is what gets a lot of people, it gets me sometimes when I'm trying to do something new too, which is consistency. All right, yeah. So being consistent is very, very important, okay? So that's why yesterday we talked about starting small, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're starting small, if you're doing 5 minutes or 10 minutes every day, that might improve, but you have to be consistent, okay? So remember, if you're thinking about doing the Ielts exam anytime soon, or if you're just looking to improve your English, it's important to do it a little bit every day and be consistent on what you are doing. Okay, so that's also very, very, very important. All right. Okay, and do you guys have any questions? I'll try to add something that I might have forgotten here. But if you have any questions, you can ask now. Okay, and I will answer it. Okay, so yeah, so I suggest, if this is your first live this week, I suggest you head to YouTube, Facebook or Instagram and look at the lives from 2-3 days ago, okay, because it's kind of a series this week, okay? And if you really think that 2021 will be the year that you get the score you need on the IELTS, okay, or will be the year that you improve your English, okay, I suggest you join me tomorrow at 11 a.m. Brisbane time for the Zoom virtual class, free Zoom virtual class. Yeah, God, I keep forgetting to say it's free. So for the free Zoom virtual class, okay? So tomorrow basically will be a wrap up. So a little bit of everything we talked about this week, plus a few extra things, okay? And then I will give you actually homework. Okay, I love giving homework. If you have been my student, you know that. Okay, so yeah, okay. Hi, so yeah, so I have a question here. It says, hi Fabi, could you give some tricks to improve speaking part, please? Okay, which speaking part exactly are you talking about? Because for the IELTS, there are 3, right? So just tell me one and I can focus on that. But if you, I don't know if you have been to my YouTube channel, there are lots of things for speaking there, okay? And usually the hardest part is speaking part 2. And in speaking part 2, there is a whole lesson there about speaking part 2, in which I help people plan for speaking part 2. Okay, so I'm gonna talk a little bit about the speaking. Yeah, so that's part 2, right? Yeah, okay, so yeah. But what is your biggest concern in speaking part 2? Because some people, they have problems planning. Others have problems speaking for 2 minutes. So what would be your biggest problem? Okay, just tell me what your biggest problem is and I can help you with that. Yeah, because these are the main things. Yeah, but I suggest you go to the YouTube channel and have a look at the video there. I can't remember when it was. I think it was maybe September last year. It was a few months ago now. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, because when it comes to planning, okay, so that video there is all about planning. When it comes to planning, my main advice would be actually to go ahead and look at the prompts as if they were questions, okay? And again, guys, there are lots of different ways of doing this, okay? So I'm telling you what works for most people, okay? And if what I'm gonna tell you now sounds good to you, I suggest you try and then you tell me how you went, okay? So yeah, so when it comes to planning, I actually think that you should look at the planning. All right, planning, yeah. It's usually the problem, okay? Head to YouTube after this and watch the video, okay? Yeah, but I'm gonna tell a little bit about it. So yeah, so you know how you have the prompts and the bullet points. So I suggest you look at them as if they were questions. Because when you look at them as if they were questions, you can think of an answer. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2, write keywords. Don't write full sentences, okay? Because a lot of people, when they write full sentences, okay, because they want to get as much information as they can when they're planning, right? But if you write full sentences, you don't have that much time. You only have 1 minute to plan, so it's not enough time to write sentences. That's reason number 1. Reason number 2 is when you're speaking, it's hard for you. So if you just imagine you have a full sentence to remind you of what you have to say, and then you read the sentence. So that's like you're reading during the speaking test, which is not good. I don't know if you were here at the beginning of this live, but I talked about being natural, okay? So when you're natural, your speaking just flows, okay? And then you're likely to get a higher score. But just imagine you're reading something, okay? So if you read it, you're not being natural. You're reading off something, okay? So first thing then, look at the bullet points as if they were questions, and then write down the answers. But the keywords for the answers, let's say a common one is describe a restaurant that you really like. Where is it? And you can go, Brisbane. What did you eat there? I ate a pizza. Okay, so just write those keywords. And then the same strategy works for when you start speaking. Okay, you look at the bullet points and you think about them, as if they were questions, and what you have to say is your answer. And when you say connect ideas, maybe when you look at the bullet point, okay, and think of it as if it was a question, try to answer it as you would answer like a complete question. Let's say, for example, so again, let's think about the example of the restaurant. So you have describe a restaurant where, instead of saying Brisbane, you say the restaurant I'm going to talk about is in Brisbane. And then you say, what did you eat there? Pizza. The thing I ate there was a pizza. Okay, so maybe that would be a good way of connecting your ideas. Okay, adding things such as one of the things is, let's say, or you can just go ahead and say, yeah, you can use the connectors, okay, the however in addition to, that's fine too, but think about introducing what you are going to say. I think that when you introduce what you are going to say, you can really connect your ideas. Because because if you think about the topics that you have to talk about in your answer, I agree with you. It's just random words, right? So just think about introducing it. Okay, I hope I answered your question. Do you have anyone else? Any other questions? Anybody else? Any other questions? And if I didn't explain myself well, please, you can ask me another question. That's no problem at all. Yeah. So yeah, guys, but if you need more tips, okay. Oh, you're welcome. But head to YouTube, head to my YouTube channel. Okay, I think it's a full lesson. I think it's about 30 minutes long, and it's about speaking part 2. Speaking part 2. Okay. All right. Any other questions, guys? No? Yeah, so if you're in the mood, guys, tomorrow, same time, 11 a.m. Brisbane time, just head to the link in the bio or to my Facebook page, okay, and head to the events page. And then you can join the virtual class there. Be pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay. Cool. Yeah, all right, cool. Okay. So any other questions, guys? Hey, hi. Anybody else? Any other questions? So if you missed the previous lives, they are available on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Okay, if you want to have a look. Okay. No other questions? Nah. All good for today. We'll be back next week. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, but if you have any questions, if you think of something after we're finished, just go ahead and you can send me a message. I usually see the messages I get on Instagram, but it's just because sometimes I get a notification, but I don't see it, but I've been checking it more often, okay? But if you have any other questions, you can write me an email, okay? So my email is fabi@fabienglish.com, okay? If you have any extra questions, okay? So guys, any more questions? No? Okay, you're welcome, you're welcome. Cool, all right, so I'm gonna head out, okay? So if you feel like you need more stuff, join me tomorrow, 11 a.m. for the free Zoom virtual class. The link is in the bio here on Instagram, also on the events page on Facebook. All right, okay, so I'm gonna go, but I see you guys tomorrow or next week, okay? Bye, bye-bye.